The camera opens on a sweeping drone shot gliding over a glowing red 2026 Ferrari 812 GTS, parked along a coastal highway just before sunset. The V12 Super GT sits low and sharp against the horizon, the kind of silhouette that doesn't need an introduction but deserves one anyway. The frame slowly pulls in as I begin walking toward the car, the soft echo of waves behind me and the subtle ticking of the cooling exhaust filling the air. This is Ferrari's latest front-engine masterpiece, and today we're diving deep into its exterior, its interior, its performance, and of course what it's going to cost you if you want one in your garage. Right away, standing in front of it, the 2026812 GTS still feels like the evolution of a legend rather than a reboot. Ferrari didn't want to reinvent what people already love, but they absolutely wanted to sharpen it. The front fascia looks more sculpted, more aggressive, and even more expressive. Air channels carve into the hood and along the bumper like they've been precision-etched. Every crease serves a purpose, from feeding air into the radiators to funneling it around the massive front brakes. The headlights are narrower, with that signature Ferrari LED line glowing like an eyebrow raised in confidence. The proportions are unmistakably front mid-engine Ferrari, long hood, short tail, and that perfect stance that looks like it's mid-sprint even when parked. Moving along the side profile, the retractable hardtop blends so seamlessly into the bodywork that if you didn't know this was a convertible, you might assume it's a coupe. Ferrari's engineering team has refined the roof mechanism so it folds smoother and faster, taking about 14 seconds to disappear completely even at low speeds. With the top down, the car takes on a different personality, louder, freer, and somehow even more dramatic. The body lines flow in organic waves, guiding your eye straight to the massive rear haunches. Those arches aren't just for looks, they need to accommodate the wider tires and the airflow management that keeps this beast planted at high speed. At the rear, the quad exhausts sit deep within an aggressively sculpted diffuser. The taillights float in pairs, circular and iconic, yet sleeker than before. The aerodynamic tweaks are subtle but effective. Ferrari claims improved stability and reduced drag, which is impressive considering the open-top design. And of course, that V12 soundtrack escapes from the exhaust with more clarity than ever, especially with the roof down. The car looks fast, but more importantly, it looks alive, like it's waiting to lunge forward. Now let's step inside. Opening the door reveals a cockpit that feels like a blend of fighter jet and luxury lounge. Ferrari continues to refine its philosophy of driver-centric design. The steering wheel remains packed with controls, giving you access to everything without taking your hands off the wheel. The Manettino selector is still there, ready to switch from a calm grand touring mode to something far more ferocious. Behind the wheel, the digital cluster has been upgraded with sharper resolution and customizable layouts. You can prioritize performance data, navigation, or a beautifully minimalistic GT-style view. The materials are exactly what you expect at this level: full-grain leather, Alcantara, carbon fiber, and metal accents that feel cold and solid to the touch. Ferrari's craftsmanship shows in the stitching patterns that cross the seats and dash. Everything smells rich and feels precision-built. The seats themselves are a masterpiece of comfort and support, the kind of seats you can sit in all day on a long highway cruise but still feel locked into during aggressive cornering. The 812 GTS may be a supercar, but it never forgets it's also a grand tourer. The passenger display returns, giving the person in the right seat their own small screen to follow speed, gear selection, and navigation. It's a little show-off feature, but let's be honest, that's exactly what Ferrari buyers want. The center infotainment system is more responsive this year, with cleaner menus and wireless integration. The climate controls sit lower, presented through subtle touch sliders and metal toggles that add a tactile charm. Storage space is still modest, but you don't buy a V12 Ferrari for its practicality. You buy it because of what happens when you press that red button on the steering wheel. And now we get to the heart of this car, the naturally aspirated 6.5-liter V12. In an era where turbochargers, hybrid systems, and full electric powertrains dominate the industry, Ferrari's choice to continue refining its legendary V12 feels almost rebellious. The 2026 model pushes its output even higher, delivering breathtaking horsepower and an engine note that sounds like an orchestra being conducted by thunder. Acceleration is brutal yet silky, launching you forward with a linear rush that only a naturally aspirated engine can provide. The throttle response feels immediate, the kind of responsiveness you can't fake with forced induction. The dual-clutch transmission snaps through gears with utter precision, especially in race mode, where every shift feels like a punch of adrenaline. Yet in comfort mode, the 812 GTS transforms, softening the suspension, smoothing out the shifts, and turning into a refined highway cruiser. That dual personality is what makes this car so addictive. It isn't just about going fast. It's about the feel, the drama, and the experience of driving something engineered with passion rather than obligation. Handling has seen meaningful improvements thanks to recalibrated rear-wheel steering and updated traction software. The car feels tighter, more agile, and more predictable than ever. Even though it's a big, powerful machine, the 812 GTS gives you confidence to push it, to explore its abilities without fear. The rear end stays planted but playful, and the steering delivers feedback so clear you can almost feel the texture of the road. With the roof down, the experience becomes even more immersive, letting you hear every echo of the V12 bouncing off cliffs, tunnels, or city streets. Now let's talk price, because this is where the 812 GTS enters another world entirely. Ferrari rarely reveals pricing publicly, and each country's market, taxes, and options list can push the number up quickly. But make no mistake, this is a seven-figure machine for most buyers once fully configured. Base pricing starts extremely high, and that's before buyers begin adding carbon fiber trim, custom paints, personalized stitching, or performance packages. For many owners, the 812 GTS is not just a car but a piece of art, a collection item, and a statement of taste. And in the world of high-end automotive luxury, that kind of exclusivity is priceless. As the camera pans back out and the sun dips lower, the 2026 Ferrari 812 GTS sits with its roof folded away, its red paint glowing like a gemstone. This car isn't simply the next model in Ferrari's lineup. It's a celebration of everything that makes the V12 special. It's a reminder that passion still has a place in modern engineering. It's a love letter to driving, raw, emotional, and unforgettable. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Ferrari's latest masterpiece, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you want to see next. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.